We're going to bring in a session are held the third Thursday of each month at 5 p.m. All meetings are conducted at PRHA's main office, and it's good to have us back here. We've been gone a couple months, I guess. So thank you for that. I thought we gained a lot of credibility out there, and I appreciate people supporting that. At 3116 South Street, Portsmouth, unless otherwise noted, all members of the public are welcome to attend. I know we've sent out the agenda. We're going to just change the agenda just a bit. We're going to move the closed session up after we had the presentation from the two speakers. All right. Ms. Marshall, you've got the roll call now.
Commissioner Barham.
Here.
Commissioner Koss. Commissioner Pickens. Commissioner Prince.
Here.
Commissioner Wicks. Vice Chair Jiggets.
Here.
Chair Lalonde.
Here. You've got in front of you two sets of meeting notes. We'll approve them one at a time. You've got the notes from September 16th, 2021. During the discussion on those minutes. Right, if not, I'll take a motion to accept the minutes as submitted.
So moved.
Yep, I got a motion, second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, good. You also have in front of you a meeting from the special call meeting on the 23rd of September.
Power on.
Discussion on those minutes.
Motion to approve.
Motion accepted, second.
The third Thursday of the month,
Can't afford for anything to go down.
which is,
All those
it
in favor?
doesn't happen.
Oh, but you know they paying you. Go ahead and get there.
All right.
I don't know
We
who's
need to do
going
it
to
right.
that.
We have to. Why am I missing this? Okay, Ms. Marshall, go ahead. On the 16th of September, go around the table.
Okay. Commissioner Barham.
Yes.
Commissioner Koss.
Yeah.
Commissioner Pickens. I'm sorry. Commissioner Prince.
Yes.
Commissioner.
That
Commissioner
was the one
Wicks.
before.
Vice Chair Jiggets.
Yes.
Chair Lalonde.
Yes. Right now, the meeting notes for the 23rd of September.
Commissioner Barham.
Yes.
Commissioner Koss.
Yeah.
Commissioner Pickens.
Yes.
Commissioner Prince.
Yeah.
Vice Chair Jiggets.
Yeah.
Chair Lalonde.
Yes, thank you very much. Right, Ed, we got two presenters up. I'll go with you and the first presenter.
Okay, the first presenter I'm gonna pass to Lisa to introduce.
Good evening, Chair, Vice Chair. That's today Ms. Flora Baskerville. She's with the City of Portsmouth Parks and Rec. Some of you have asked, what are we doing in the community for the youth? What programs do we have? The city is doing a lot of exciting programs in our communities. So she's going to share with us today just some of the programs that they have available for the youth of PRA. Can you hear us, Ms. Baskerville?
Ms.
We can hear you.
Baskerville, please unmute your microphone. There you go.
We can hear now.
Okay, so if you could just talk a little bit about the programs that you have in PRA communities as well as throughout the city.
Absolutely. Good evening.
Good evening.
One of the things that I want to say is that we are like a lot of others around the country. We are having some problems with staff because our plan was to do some bus transportation to some of the different sites that were not in the community to make sure that those youth were able to take part in other things just other than what was just in that community. But we do not have the bus staff to do that. So at this point, we are not able to do transportation. But that is something that we are hoping in the future that we will be able to do. The program that we're doing right now on PRHA grounds is a mentorship program. And that mentorship program is held every Monday and Wednesday from 4 to 7. Those youth are able to get homework assistance, they get exercise, they get they play games, they do artwork, and just some hands-on mentorship. I've been out there most Mondays and Wednesday myself on site. And it's just unbelievable, the youth that we have out there and what's needed out there. And it just makes you want to take home a bunch of children that aren't yours. But the program, um, very nice, very energetic young people, and we want to do a lot more. Um, on November the 30th, no, I'm sorry, October the 30th is the first one. We're taking a bus load of the students from Swanson home to the Norfolk State football game. Um, we are going to, um, I think it's like 25 youth that have signed up to go. And it is Youth Day at NSU, and we're going to take them out there. Um, I believe they're going to be given $10. We're going to provide snacks and things for them, but they're going to get $10 to spend in the concession stands out there. And it's just going to be a fun day to go out and have a good time and see college football. We are also going to be taking a same group of kids from Dale home on that same day on a different bus and sat in a different location. Pardon me? Did someone say something?
No, Ms. Pascal, no, not at all. Just,
So we're going to take a group also from Dale Homes also on that day, on Youth Day. And then in November, which is the NSU last game, we're taking another group of youth out there to the NSU games. Now, some of the other programs that we have going on throughout the city at some of the schools and also at some of the rec centers. Um, and we will shortly be using, I believe it's Lexington Place. We have a young entrepreneurs program that is going to be starting. We're just trying to get the youth signed up for it. We have the staff and we have the person that is going to be doing the program. We just have not, we only have like one student registered. So we are trying to see what we can do. We have put some information out there, but trying to get some students involved in that young entrepreneurs, because that is something that could not only be something for them to do now, but something that could help them throughout a career later on in life. We also have dance classes, jazz, ballet, and modern dance. We have floral design. Floral design is also something that someone may get interested in and could take them into a profession. We have gardening and culinary that is going to be starting up. Again, with that, we ready. We have the staff. We just don't have the students registered for it. With that, they will grow a garden and they will use some of the items from that garden to cook. We have a bucket garden that has started out at Churchland Primary. And with that, they grow 4 or 5 different vegetables in a large bucket and take that home. And they come back to the class and they draw how their bucket is growing and talk about the different things in there and the different things that they can do with it. We also have a STEM program out at Parkview Elementary where they're going to be doing robotics and working with drones. Again, all of this is free to our children. We have beginning sewing classes 3 times a week. We have 2 or 3 other mentorship programs going on around the city. We have a mentorship program on Saturdays done by the men of Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity. And these men have done some great things with the youth already. They've taken them on a college tour and they have some great speakers. They play basketball with them. That's held at neighborhood facility. And it's a really amazing program. So right now, we have lots of programs. We're going to be starting up many more programs. We have a carpentry program that PRHA is helping with some space for that. I believe what's going to happen, and they're going to start the first week of November. They are going to start in the classroom and teaching them about safety and some of the equipment, and then they are going to start building some things once they can get into the space to do that. So that's another great program that can take the youth into a profession later on. We have several more. There are some that we're trying to do. We want to get a boxing. We've had a hard time finding someone that is skilled in boxing to help us. We want to do a martial arts and trying to get someone to do that. We had gone to the Portsmouth YMCA on High Street and met with them, and they were very excited about working with us. They just don't have the time and space for in slotted hours to let us come in at this time, but we eventually plan on partnering with that YMCA and doing some swimming classes there at the Y. So we're really looking at lots of great things that we can give our youth a chance to take part in. And all of this is at no cost. We feed them a snack and we feed them a meal every time we meet with them. And so we're happy that we are able to do that through the USDA program. And like I said, we thank you for your space and working with us. And we'd like to do a lot more. We just got started a few months ago, but we have the sky's the limit. And we want to give our youth every opportunity in the city of Portsmouth to do many great things and to have many great opportunities.
Thank you very much, Ms. Baskerville. I'm just going to open it up now to the other commissioners, see if they've got any questions about these programs that you have going on. And I, kick it off. I appreciate it. And I'm always amazed by the staff that you have there at Parks and Rec. So thank you for what you're involved with. So I want to open it up to the other commissioner. Yeah, Commissioner Prince.
I just want to know if the city could be involved in offering some voucher tickets for buses in the future.
You're asking me?
Yes, ma'am.
Or has that been something someone's looked at?
What do you mean by voucher tickets for buses?
For public buses. Or you said you had a busing shortage.
Yes.
If the city could probably partner.
I will check into that. A lot of the youth are too young to ride the buses by themselves, but we can look at for some of the older teenagers, maybe we can partner with our bus system to see if we can get them some bus vouchers.
That's a good question. Yeah.
Go ahead, Commissioner Jiggins.
Oh,
You can
yes,
start.
thank
Go
you.
ahead.
My question is, the information that's on the flyer, is this also posted on PRJ website?
I want to say, we did pass it out to all of our residents, and I do believe it's on our website, but let me confirm that.
Yes,
But
and
it
if
went
it's
out
not
to all
on
of our residents. And
right, if it's not
actually-
on the website, if we would make sure it's on our
Okay.
PRJ's
I will.
website.
And
too.
also, I'll add that our Family Self-Sufficiency Department has been helping with enrollment for these programs as well.
Okay, that's good. These are great activities. Would gaming come under the STEMS program?
Yes.
Do you all do? So you have been doing something with the gaming also?
Yes.
Okay, all right. And then the drone, I didn't see drone specifically stated on the front. That
It's
comes
under
under
the
STEM?
program.
That's under STEM. Okay, thank you so
And
much.
robotics.
And
Okay,
robotics, okay.
thank you so much.
Hi, Ms. Baskerville. This is Commissioner Barham. Thank you so much for all of that valuable information. It sounds like you guys have a lot of great programs going. I did jot down a few questions if you just bear with me while I kind of rattle a few of these off, but mostly for my curiosity. But so how many mentors do you have for these Mondays and Wednesdays, and where are you typically getting these mentors from?
Just for the Mondays and Wednesdays, or the different ones? Because we have several different mentorship programs on Mondays and Wednesdays. The ones that we have at at Swanson Homes, we have 3 mentors there that are working with them, and that is with the group Big Homies. And then we have additional Parks and Rec staff that are there also.
Great. Awesome. Thank you. So are you guys, always looking for outside volunteers? And if so, what's the best way to get involved?
Absolutely. We would love to have some volunteers. They just need to fill out a form. Background checks are done, and we would love to help them wherever their expertise. We just had a retired neurologist to come to us this week, and he wants to do some homework help with some of our youth. And so we're going to place him in a location, and he'll do some one-on-one homework assistance.
Great. Yeah, thank you. And my next question is more so for probably Mr. Bland, but I know our company personally gives employees an allotted amount of time each month or each quarter to take off and volunteer in their community without having to take any sort of personal leave or anything of that nature. Is that something that you've thought about doing with PRHA employees so that they can be involved in a program like this?
We would love to have them if they are interested in working after work, because these hours that we're working with the youth are usually from 4 to 7.
Right. Yeah. So maybe it'd be something along the lines of, you get to leave a few hours early if you're going to pick up those hours in the evening, or you give someone a few extra hours of vacation time in exchange for going and volunteering with these programs. I think that'd be
We would love to have them. We would love to have them.
Thank you. And then lastly, what sort of age groups are you seeing? I mean, what's the average age group? I think it sounds like there's a lot of great opportunities for the group that I personally think needs the most attention here, and that's those early teenagers in our community that really don't have a number of other options.
We take them up to age 17, as long as they have not turned 18.
Great.
We have some programs down as young as 5-year-olds, as long as they started school. But the majority of our programs were geared towards 12 to 17, not 18, have not turned 18.
Okay. And one more question. With the NSU visitation, has anyone looked into getting in touch with someone with the athletics department and seeing if there's an opportunity for these kids to meet some of those student athletes before or after the game and just pick up a little bit of encouragement from them or motivation from them?
I have not, but that is a very good idea, and we'll look into that because we are dealing with the athletic department with getting the tickets. When the young men went over to ODU on the college tour, that was one of the things that they were allowed to do. They got some ODU paraphernalia that they were given to bring back, and then they were also able to meet some of the athletes over there at Old Dominion.
Fantastic. Yeah, thank you. Keep up the great work. That's awesome to hear.
Thank you.
And so did I
Any
hear
other-
you
any other
correctly, do the college tour? Did I hear you say that, Ms. Baskerville?
Say that
You
again.
You do college tours with the students too?
Well, the men of Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity, that was part of their program. They took them on a college tour. We provided a bus, we provided lunch, and they took them over to Old Dominion for the day. And they got to meet some of the younger alphas on campus and some of the athletes on campus, and also visit some of the buildings and classrooms and things like that. And that day was really amazing because one of the mothers came over with her son, and her son had told her that he didn't want to go. And she said, "You live in my house, you don't have a choice." And they took an Uber over and brought him there. And her daughter did something in the area, and she waited for him, and they took an Uber back home. Because I had said, "We'll take you all home." They lived in Cavalier Manor, and she said, "I've already put in for the Uber, and they'll charge me if I don't take it. But we offered to take her home, but I thought that was amazing that she, you know, it was not his choice.
That's
She's
wonderful.
making choices for him.
All right, any other commissioners? Commissioners, okay. Just to close it out, a couple comments, Ms. Baskerville. Team Up Mentoring in Portsmouth has their headquarters there on Airline Boulevard. They've been around for about 15 years. Has Portsmouth Parks and Rec had any relationship or partnership with the Team Up Mentoring program that's here in Portsmouth?
No, and what's the name of it again?
Team Up Mentoring. It's located right across the fire station on the Airline Boulevard. They've been there for about 15 years. They've got about 250 youth in the Hampton Roads area that they provide mentors for.
No, but I will be reaching out to them on Monday.
Okay, very, very good. And again, thank you. Thank you for your time, Ms. Baskerville. Thank you for your professionalism, and thank you for really informing us. I know I receive in the mail, and I'm assuming all the housing units receive the community program. Y'all have tremendous programs up here. I know you've got the trunk or treat happening pretty soon at the pavilion.
This
But
Saturday.
y'all really are very, very active in what you're trying to do with youth here. Not just youth, but teens and seniors and just anybody who has an interest in Portsmouth recreation. I just applaud it. So thank you very much, and thank you for what y'all do. Thank you again. Thanks, Ms. Baskerville.
And thank you, and we thank you for partnering with us.
You okay? All right. Thank you very much. Okay.
Okay. Good evening.
Have a great evening.
Thank
You too.
you. Thank you again.
Okay.
And with that segue there, I want Dolores to talk about, what they're doing from housing authority's point.
Laura, it's always good to have you.
Yes, it's always good to be here. Someone told me one day, an old man told me, it's better to be seen than to be viewed. And I have carried that with me for ever since. So good evening, everyone. And we're very excited about the programs for Parks and Recreation, because our whole idea is the kids in our communities are Portsmouth children also. And the fact that they have access to programs outside their community, leading to greater exposure, because we operate on the idea that exposure is key to helping our residents see beyond where they're at, so that they can dream about what could be. So the more they can get exposed to, the better. So, but some of the programs that are currently operating, and they've been in place for, some of them have been in place for a little bit. We have a crew program, and it's for high school students. Our youth coordinator, Brittany Thompson, has a heart and passion for the, because so many of the programs we have, the younger kids come out in full force. They're very excited. They want to do things, even if the parents don't come out or sign them up, the younger ones show up. But when she came on board, she was dedicated to trying to put together a program for the older kids. So she started Crew, and Crew is where they actually expose them to different careers. They're exposed to the educational opportunities. She's been doing college tours for the last several years with the kids. She have, I think the furthest they went, they went to North Carolina not last year, but year before last, they went down to Carolina.
Yes.
They went to JMU. Of course, they've done Norfolk State, Hampton, ODU, all the local colleges. And in addition to that, we work with the STOP. STOP has a program for middle and high school kids. So they partner with us on that, because with their program, they actually can bring some financial resources as well as staff to help prep the kids for school, for college, for careers. And STOP also provides some anti-violence type training. So that is a great partnership. We also partner with the Hampton Roads Workforce Council, because they get money to help the kids with career training, with they pay for them to do the summer employment. So we get summer youth, and that's paid for through the Hampton Roads Workforce Council. And we also partnered with Portsmouth Public Schools Career and Technical Education Programs and Portsmouth at Work with the CREW program. So they come in, they make presentations, because the idea is, yet again, to expose the kids to what could be. And that program is for the high school students and is open to all our properties and HCV participants. We also have a grant that we've talked about previously, our 21st Century Community Learning Center grant, and that's held at Parkview Elementary School, and it's for 2nd to 5th graders. And our kids, we applied for the grant because so many of our kids, Swanson, all the Westbury properties, which include Westbury, Pine, Holly, King Square, all attend Parkview. So there's a lot of PRHA kids in that community. And we know that there's been some learning deficits there. So we wrote the grant. It's run by the staff of Portsmouth Public School, and it's an after-school program. We started last year. It had to be all virtual because of COVID. We were so excited this year that we could operate on-site after school, and then COVID struck again. So we had to pivot, and we went back. We had to go back virtual because Portsmouth Public School stopped that in-person after-school program. But that program is doing very well. And the kids love the after-school component because it includes not only the homework assistance taught by teachers. Most of them are actually teachers at Parkview. They just come on our payroll after school is over. But we have a social emotional learning component where we have an outside group come in and address some of those issues with our kids. And we have a parental outreach component. Once a month, we have to do a program for parents. And one thing we focused on last year and we'll do again this year, because our grant was renewed, and we passed our audit of flying colors. But we want to focus on some of the social, emotional issues with the parents, because we noticed a lot of the parents had issues with COVID and isolation and depression. So we had our counseling agency work with the parents as well as the kids on some of those issues. So that program, like I said, is for 2nd and 5th graders. Our new program, we're really excited about this. It hasn't started yet, but it should be starting soon. We received a grant from the United Way in Centera, and they actually contacted us because before COVID hit, it was December of 2019, Centera had some money. They wanted to do an anti-violence program, and they asked us if they could partner with us on it. So they provided a program. It was like a 6-week program through the end of November, December, and they were really pleased with the outcome. So then they approached us again to do a program. Last year, COVID derailed it, but they came back and they said, we're ready. So through the United Way, we received a grant with the backing of Centera, where we're going to do a mixed martial arts program. And it's for kids 11 to 14, and it will be for Swanson and Dale Home residents. So we have a person that teaches it, and he's like contracting with us to come on site and provide those services to our youth, because that's something that a lot of the kids are very interested in. So we're excited about being able to offer that program to the young people. I just found out our money is in for the United Way. We got our check from them, so we can go ahead and get the program implemented. So those are some of the things that we have ongoing now. And as Elisa said, we are trying to promote all of the Parks and Rec program. We've been partnering with them for as long as I've been here. So we're just excited that they have the funds now to offer these types of programs. And we can't wait till transportation get established so that our kids can go out and explore even beyond what's offered on site.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, commissioners, comments?
I do.
Commissioner Jacobs?
That's wonderful. Wonderful, Director Adams. Are we doing any, site program with Brighton Elementary School?
We are not partnered with Brighton, nothing on site that I'm aware of.
Okay, I would just, encourage us to also, pursue possible opportunities with Brighton Elementary School, where it's based. It's in the community that certainly, those students, if you could just investigate, that's the extent of my knowledge that I do know that
Wait.
they are in the area.
Several of the schools already have a 21st Century Community Learning Center grant. I can check and see the list and see if Brighton,
Okay.
because Portsmouth Public School runs this program themselves in several of the, they have one middle school and several elementary schools. And so Brighton maybe, because we helped them with some recruitment, because they wanted us to assist them in our communities with recruiting kids for their other programs. So we held a couple of meetings on site to assist them with getting parents to sign up for their programs. So I see if Brighton is on the list, because I do know they have like 3 or 4 of these 21st Century Community Learning Center grants already operational. The difference with our program is it's the first time a community-based organization, meaning us, is actually the grant administrator. Although we work with them and we follow pretty much the same, we follow the same programming and activities. We tweak ours a little bit because we know what we think the needs are of some of our residents, but for the most part, we work with the coordinator, Ms. Wagner, at the school system, who's the coordinator of the 21st Century programs across the board. And so I'll see, because Brighton may be one of the existing programs. They didn't have one at Parkview, and they didn't have the resources to take on another site. And so that's why we decided, okay, you know what? We'll take on that site as the administrator, and then we can, we'll handle your, making sure that the grant requirements are met.
Okay, well,
Yeah. But I will check and see.
And if there might be an opportunity to take on being grants administrator for Brighton, if they don't have anything.
I'll check and see, because I know it's about 3 or 4 existing ones.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Lois. Any other commissioner comments? Mr. Gonzalez, do you have something?
Yes, ma'am. And where are the mixed martial arts program, where is that gonna be located?
It's gonna be in Swanson,
Community center?
in the community center.
The 21st Century grant that we have, that's a multi-year grant?
3 years, so
3
we're
years,
getting ready to
okay.
we're entering our 2nd year of that grant.
Okay. Very, very good. Dolores, again, you and your folks, tremendous work that y'all do as far as being recognized nationally. Obviously your group has really led the forefront here. Not that we haven't been recognized by other stuff, but y'all have been consistent in your programs, and we really appreciate it. And I'm amazed, and having been out there, that during this pandemic, how y'all have still been leaning forward and not waiting for people to come to you, but you're going out to folks. So I appreciate it. I know the feedback I get from friends of the Portsmouth Juvenile Court, the feedback I'm getting from the police chief has just been very, very nice. So thank you very much, Dolores, for what y'all do.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Yeah, we say we're small, but we're a mighty bunch.
All right.
Yes, sir. Blaine, you had something?
Just want to add, compared to other housing authorities across the country and compared to what Portsmouth doing is much more than any housing authority,
Sure.
small, our size, or even larger. Making sure that we're trying to provide
Sure.
program and have these partnerships. It's unusual that you find housing authorities have this many different activities
Sure.
going on in other
Sure.
parts of the country.
And you're hitting all the right names, STOP, Portsmouth, Parks and Rec. I mean, you're hitting all the right partners to have. And because, it's one thing to have a good program, when you got other smart people helping you, sure, it does help a lot. So thank you for that.
Well, we operate a program with no money, so
Sure.
we have to have partnerships. That's what we say. The first thing we say when people come,
Sure.
we don't have any money, but what can you offer us in
There we
kind?
go.
And
There we
that's
go.
how we get started.
Thank you.
I got one.
Ms. Glenn?
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I'm not sure if it's just for you or just PRH as a whole. I know one, young man that just passed Seaboard was one of my old tenants. Do y'all do any outreach for the families, for people that are affected by, what's going on right now?
You know, it's funny you just said that. I had a conversation last week with my counterpart at NRHA because they had implemented, because of a lot of the violence that's happening in our communities, trauma teams. And so I was on a call with her and she was saying, she mentioned it on that call, so I contacted her so that we can talk about it and see how it worked, because we were talking, it would be a great opportunity for us to implement something like that in our communities for our residents and also for our staff. At NRHA, they had to implement it quickly because they had a shooting where several staff members were out there and witnessed it, and it traumatized their staff. So they had to bring, and they actually have a RFP out now for that with piggyback language so that we can, because I said, make sure it's piggyback, because we would love to piggyback, if possible, on that, if depending on their contract, so that we can looking into doing something like that for our residents and
Mr.
staff.
McKenna's an excellent idea, and Mr. Bland, I think it's something that we really ought to look at it. And that is absolutely fantastic. To think about the trauma that not only the families go through, Commissioner Cost, but also what the staff goes through. Because those are folks that and some of them, they've grown up with them as their kids and their families. So, Mr. Bland, I think it's an excellent idea, and I have, plagiarism is the most sincerest form of flattery.
Yeah, well,
So-
I thought it was a great idea because she said something that affected her. She was talking to a 4-year-old child in the community that this shooting happened, and the child could give her play-by-play. She could barely talk her, tell her name or talk about the alphabet or her numbers, but she knew. And she said, and the issue is, we don't want our residents to get desensitized to this. We want them to feel and have a means to communicate and a source to communicate what they're going through, and not just repressing it so that it comes out in other ways.
That's a good point. I guess last week, I made it a point to go out to Dale Home to the bus stop. There probably was a dozen parents there putting their children on the bus, and we spoke for a few minutes about what we're trying to do and what we'd like to do, and just kind of listen. But being a military guy, I'm not a psychologist or a behavioralist, but you could just feel the PTSD type of stuff, all right? And these are the parents that are going through this. So I think it's an excellent idea, and I know it's outside the normal box, but these are no abnormal times, and this is the only way we're gonna fight. So thank you, Dolores.
If you need a volunteer, I haven't been a mayor for a while, but that's the background, so.
Oh, that would be awesome, because we feel that we could see how they can definitely definitely need for something like that.
A whole different world. Then. Ms. Bland, you've got another presenter?
Cindy coming on?
I was waiting for her to come on. I would say she hasn't responded back yet.
Okay. Well, I'm kind of in a holding pattern here because I need to know whether we go to closed session or
Yeah,
not.
go ahead.
Go into closed session? Okay, all right.
You still need to do it.
Okay, I've got a resolution here for me to read about going into closed session.
36.
Big amount?
It's 36. I'm sorry.
33?
No, it should be 36.
Here we go. We're gonna go into closed session. As I talk, we're gonna change the agenda just a bit. Resolution of intent to meet in closed meeting. Whereas the Virginia Freedom of Information Act provides that the Board of Commissioners can meet in a closed meeting for the discussion or consideration of the acquisition or disposition of publicly held real property, where discussion in open meeting would adversely affect the bargaining position or negotiating strategy of the public body as set forth in section 2.23711A3 of the Code of Virginia is amended. The matters for discussion are the disposition of real property, and there's a long laundry list of them. Southside, Crawford, Prentice, Brighton, Parkview, Mount Hermon, Twin Pines, Victory, Churchland, Westbury, trucks in Old Town, Sugar Hill, West Haven, and Swanson. Now therefore be it resolved that in compliance with the Virginia Freedom of Information Act and the above referenced section of Virginia Code, the Board of Commissioners shall reconvene in a closed meeting on October 21st for discussion of the disposition of real property as in the above Virginia Code. So with that in mind, we're in closed session.
We need to pass that
We
motion.
need to pass that motion. There we go.
Motion to approve resolution 2020.
Did I have a motion? I need a second? Second, I have a second. Ms. Marshall?
Commissioner Barham,
Yes.
Commissioner Cost,
Yes.
Commissioner Pickens,
Yes.
Commissioner Prince,
Yes.
Vice Chair Jiggets,
Yeah.
Chair Lalonde.
Yes. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Y'all want to grab something here?